Welcome to Toffee TV. We're going to be discussing something that seems to be, again, a big talking point for the Blues, Baz. It's the atmospheres within Goodison Park at the moment. I mean, this is a problem that can be traced back. I don't know how long you can trace it back. I suppose you can trace it on and off for the last 10 years, 15 years. It's ever since Seaton come in, really, the atmosphere's never been the same, really. But the last couple of seasons, certainly, Martinez football basically has just done us over, hasn't it? And it's just led to this. I don't know. How would you describe it?
Quiet. It's a tough one, this, because I think every ground you go to as an away fan, invariably you will outsing the home fans. I think that's the way football is now. Obviously, there's times when you score and the stadium comes to life. Being to Old Trafford with 76,000 people and it was quiet like a library. United score, you can't hear yourself think. It goes back, it settles down. Goodison's like that. Goodison can be a real bear pit at times.
Yeah. But to be honest, I mean, we decided to do this video not out of why is it so quiet as such. It's how we can improve it is the question, isn't it? Rather than why is it so quiet. The main reason it's quiet is because I think last season we were just so disenfranchised with the football, and I said at the time, the football, you watched it and you sort of sat back and you sort of relaxed. It wasn't edge of the seat football, and in turn that leads you to just sit down and just watch it, and then just get more frustrated, and then that's when sort of the anger comes out. Very much like turning to the dark side. Very much like a Sith thing. It's how we get back. It's how we create the atmosphere. Now, there's many suggestions, and I've got a few things that I'll mention off Twitter at the moment. But I mean, for you, how do you think we can get round this problem?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, because
why did I bring you in to do this video then?
Why did you bring me in?
Yeah, why did I bring you in? I said, Baz, I've got an idea. Let's do a video. I want ideas. Come on, spitball.
Well, yeah, Mr. Idea Man. How do we get round it? Right, I think Everton would love to sit in the room with you, mate.
Well, we all know that. We all know they'd like to sit in the room.
I bet they would, they'd like it
and cut it now.
Yeah, exactly. And put bars up and stuff around it. I think
just in an ideal world, what would you do?
Put a winning team on the pitch.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough.
First and foremost,
but that just solved the problem. Well, should that solve the problem? Because I've had that a few times. Going, well, winning a few more games might help, and I don't honestly think, as a fan, that is the solution. It shouldn't matter. I know it helps, but I remember going to matching. I remember at the Wimbledon game, and I remember after the Wimbledon game, and I remember how good the atmosphere was, because number one,
that's relief.
No, I don't mean after that. I mean the season after.
Oh, okay.
I remember almost like fans felt
relief.
But no, it wasn't released to me. What it was to me was,
I'm a bit older.
All right, yeah. Well, to you, it might feel. But you know what it felt like? In a way, it's relief. You know what it felt like to me? It felt like that fans had gone, do you know what? Look how close we came to losing our status, and we've got to enjoy this. And we've got to help the club. And but relief's just
thanks for just backing me.
Relief's just a one. Relief doesn't help in a video. You need need to fill in the gaps.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that year, that day was just ridiculous. That's how close it was to it being. So don't forget that season, the Wimbledon season. Everton were about 8th and 9th or something at Christmas. It was comfortable. The Kendall left, and they lost 6 or 7 games. It dragged them into the mire. And everyone, I think you're right, we got to the end of that season and it was like, oh my god, we've just nearly been relegated. This is ridiculous. We play in this top flight. Why aren't we enjoying it? And people did kind of get right behind it. But I think you touched on something very early on in the video, and that was the standing, and the standing in those days, the seating now. It is different. Everything's different about football nowadays. The identification with the players is totally different now. I remember growing up watching Everton, absolutely loved the players, loved every one of them. Now, I don't. There's a lot of them I don't care if that might just be your age.
I think a lot of people, my age.
I think a lot of people feel like that.
I still think football is idols to kids though. I still think
to kids get out as a kid start. I don't know, because everyone has a different match day experience, don't they? Right? You want to go to a game, you don't want to be able to hear yourself think because it's that noisy. The reality is those games are few and far between. That's the reality. That Goodison Park can be.
But are there ways that we can help that though? That's what I'm saying.
It's difficult. That's what I'm trying to say to you, though. It's difficult, isn't it? Without it being, people will perceive as it being staged. You know, go to.
Isn't that half the problem?
Staging things.
Isn't it the problem? It's perception that people.
Of course it is. Of course it is, because nowadays, whether we like it or not, it's you're knobhead. That's the society that we are in.
It's just you though, Baz. You know,
that's just me to you. That's what I say to you, of course. But I'm talking. No, but if you go to games now, there'll be a set. I mean, at Everton, there's people that try and have a singing section and things like that. Now, people I've seen loads on Twitter going, I've singing section.
Well, why is
blah, blah.
All right. Well, let's say yesterday, right? I mean, all right. We're looking for solutions. My solution is safe standing. I'm a big advocate of safe standing. I think it needs to come back. I think if you had one little section of your ground, I'm not talking about like the whole Gladys Street or a whole area of another ground. I'm talking about a little section in the Gladys Street, maybe on one of the sides. So you're in a corner. If that starts the atmosphere and helps generate the atmosphere, that kicks on to.
Why would that change the atmosphere though?
Because I think one of the big problems at grounds is that people stand up and they want to get the atmosphere going and they want to start singing, and then stewards are telling them to sit down. And then people behind them are telling them to sit down.
Sing from the seat?
No, you can't sing from your seat.
I'm just asking
you can't sing from your seat. You've been sitting in the Bullens too long, lads.
I'm just asking you a question, that was right. I stamp my feet on the wood.
Yeah. In safe standing, you've almost got the authority to generate an atmosphere. You've got no one. You've got no one.
Not gonna have.
You've got no one behind you telling you to sit down. You've got no steward telling you.
I'll be honest. Not many people tell me to sit down. Makes no difference. You know.
But you know, so you create the atmosphere, and then hopefully it's a ripple effect, and the atmosphere then gets generated. I think that would be the first thing that needs to come in.
I mean, that's not realistically though.
Well, realistically, that can. Listen, I don't think. If
Everton are looking at moving a stadium, they're not going to do that to Goodison, are they?
No.
People are moaning now about putting a bit of cladding up.
Listen, I think if all the clubs are starting to have serious conversations about that, I think Everton should have serious conversations
in a new stadium. They're going to do it.
All right. Well, forget about new stadium.
I want you to create. I want solutions before we play Swansea. That's what I'm looking for.
Right. That's my ideal. Yeah. That's my right. Well, the other thing is, we go to the game yesterday. It is flat. The time of the kickoff doesn't help.
Sunday half one.
That doesn't help. You know, you've just come out of church. It's not ideal for you. You know, you've just
more atmosphere in church, to be honest. That's fine. No, when they start at the camp.
And it was. But again, though, GT4 and the Gladys Street, they're all stood up. They're trying to singing and stuff, and they're probably getting moaned at and all the rest of it. And then there was somebody who had a microphone or a megaphone, whatever you want to call it, and he's given it all.
It's a megaphone more than a microphone.
Right, so it was a megaphone.
And you know that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now, other people are laughing at him, like on social media now, right? Now, forget about fans of other clubs. They'll laugh at anything, and we'll laugh at them. That's football. That's what we do. But why are other fans laughing at someone for trying to get the atmosphere better? Forget about anyone else. Forget about what the perceptions are of your fake atmospheres. Forget about all that. Why are on one hand going to Goodison shit, the atmosphere's shit. Someone does something about it, you're a knobhead. Why do those? I know it's but why do we live in a society where that happens? Why aren't people going, well, I wouldn't do that, but I understand why you've done fair enough. I don't quite understand why we've become those people. Like, it's like when you see someone else's ground half full or whatever, look at them, they can't even fill the ground for a Champions League match, and you go, and then on the other hand you're trying to get cheaper tickets. Do you know, the two things aren't, you know what I mean? It's like you're laughing at someone for a problem that you once solved yourself. It doesn't make sense. Why have we all become so cynical about everything? Why can't we just go to the match and go, he's trying to create a better atmosphere, let's back him? Alright, it's not the way I do, but if he gets the atmosphere going, gets the ground rocking, and suddenly the team starts enjoying being a Goodison a lot more, surely that helps all of us.
You know, it's a society problem more than anything, isn't it? It's because I'm quite sure if you ask fans up and down the country, there will be different fans who go, I've got really good mates of mine who cringe at the flares and all that when Liverpool come in. You know, the coach comes in, they're greeting the coach, they're just like, what, where's these Wolves come from? Wolves. A lot of them are probably Scousers over there. You Tottenham fans moaning about the West Ham scrap with each other at every home game to try and get the atmosphere going. So I think up and down the country...
I don't think that's to get the atmosphere going.
But I think up and down the country, people, even within the same ground, will go, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
In terms of having a megaphone, I think I wouldn't do it, but I think it takes balls to stand up in the Gladys seat and start singing songs. Yeah, sometimes it can feel a bit forced, but that's the way it is, isn't it?
The thing about that was, in like other countries like Germany and Italy,
that's a thing.
That's a big thing.
Yeah,
that's like, and it, like they'll have the fella at the front, and he'll be. Sometimes the club give them like big things to stand on to like get the crowd going, and then you know we look at like places like Dortmund, the yellow wall. And, oh, well, we'd love that, and half of that's probably like,
it's all
you know, you
staged.
see
That's
all the tifos, it's staged because someone's had to go in there before the game with the club and sort all that out, but we still love it because when it comes to the match it looks brilliant.
Yeah, because it's not us.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's like, I just don't quite, I know for a fact, right, that the club are actively trying to create a better atmosphere, right? They're doing things like asking the fans for playlists for the music before the game at half time to try and create an atmosphere within the ground. And that, you know what, I think that's a really good idea, because when I went to Amsterdam, the Amsterdam Arena, and Holland and France were playing, that was a big part of it. The music before the game really sort of got the fans going. Now again, that might be something we look at and we go, oh my god, but it really worked. And I think we've all just got to get over ourselves a little bit. Don't you think? Look,
I went to Orlando City last year, and that atmosphere was unbelievable. It was better, honestly, it was better than most Premier League games that I've ever been to, in terms of the game wasn't very good. It was 90 degrees, and their wall, as it's called, didn't stop bouncing for 2 hours. And they've got 3 stages at the front with, and I know because they can drag me up onto one of them with but they've got fans who just face their fans, who are jumping up and down singing the songs, and the whole, and it looks incredible, and the noise is incredible. But that wouldn't come in over here.
No, and I wouldn't.
That kind of thing.
But I wouldn't expect that
in this country.
But I wouldn't expect that to. But I look at someone like Crystal Palace, right, and I look at their ultras, and you look at their
Crystal Palace and ultras in the same sentence.
Ultras, and it doesn't matter how. Right, well, let's just get one thing right. There's no chance we're having drums or music after goals. They're literally just
no.
There's a
I quite like I'm blue.
No, they never come in.
For about 3 games.
They're not real things. They're not. But
it was a real thing.
No, I know. I was there. I remember.
Trust me. No, the year after we stayed
up. Peter Johnson. The other song. No,
he got rid of the Z cars
and then played this other song by like some Norwegian band or something. But Crystal Palace, they have that ultra thing, which is all, obviously it all has to be signed off by the club and everything, and obviously it's all helped by the club. But if it helps imagine watching Crystal Palace every week. You know, you've got to they create that atmosphere, and that atmosphere spreads around the ground, and it makes that atmosphere, maybe, I don't know if it's intimidating or what, but if it helps their footballers, if it raises their football by a couple of percent, then what's the issue? Why do people?
Because people
feel
will
like
say it's like again, it's like with Chelsea with the plastic flags on the seats before the Champions League game. Everyone.
Well, I understand.
No, but people will rip that, and they'll go, well, hang on, why? You know, other clubs have flattened, think the inventor flags and this, that, and the other. You know, you've got all of that going on, but if that helps them, who's bothered? If you know, Liverpool play You'll Never Walk Alone, you might be quiet for 85 minutes, then they sing it again at the end. But if the Liverpool are brilliant and their fans are singing, Man United do Man United have a song sheet that they give out before the game that their fans.
West Ham have a song sheet as well.
Well, yeah, let's not go into that. But teams do it. It's not for other people, is it, to turn around
exactly.
About dickheads? But the issue we're having is within ourselves.
Like, what if? I mean, if a Goodison Park was rocking, right, and you were like, well, why is the atmosphere that good? And you got, you worked it all out and you got to the end of it and you found out that it was because this reason and the club had a big part of it and it was all managed. Would you turn around and go, well, that's fake then, that doesn't matter. If your team have just won and it's helped, then there's a boss atmosphere. Do you know,
I've always wondered why they don't just
piping fake cheering.
No, not fake cheering. Just have some proper
I think Arsenal might have
microphones just in the thing and just amplify the sound.
Yeah. I've been in Goodison when they've amplified the sound.
Amplify it more
for other reasons.
No, amplify it for in the ground. So when there's like, turn it up to like decibel 11, and everyone goes, what the? And that's amazing.
But it's this idea that
I just think it's in general. Obviously, the spontaneous atmosphere is something that you're looking to grab. The team will bring that, but it's days like yesterday when it was quite
going to
quiet.
Going to the team is half the problem. That it's still a hangover from last season where we're still a little bit fearful. We don't quite trust the side enough yet to get that atmosphere. Like, it's almost like, and I understand why, because I'm pretty much the same. It's almost like, listen, we've just been through the mire, we've just had a shy couple of seasons. You come and impress us, and then we'll give you your atmosphere.
Okay, and that's there will be a part of that, and that's right. And well, I'll come back to that in a second. But was it really that great 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, under Moyes 8 years ago? I remember lots of games sat there and it was quiet. Everton might have been attacking, but the game was generally quiet.
Yeah, but I think
until we score or we have a shot.
I think on the Moyes, I think the way he played helped because there was a tempo, and I always think tempo in a football match helps the tempo of a crowd. If it's a flat game and it's quiet, you sort of drift off. You end up having a conversation with your mate next year.
I would say the atmosphere is better this season already than what it was been for the last 2 seasons.
But is it? But
and I've not been, even though the West Ham game, the first half wasn't great, I wasn't bored. Last year I was bored.
But I was bored by the footy.
Well, what I'm saying, well, that's what I'm saying. So if you'd watch it and it'd be 20 minutes passing it around at the back. So in general, you do play with your foot, or you're like, you're talking, or why aren't we doing this? Because way Ronald Koeman plays, it's a little bit more of a high tempo. It's a bit more getting the ball forward. The crowd are up a little bit more. But in general, it's like the way I'd do it. Get your standing section. Get everyone who goes away, right, and just bounce them in the standing section because they're the ones who sing. Oh, it's like West Ham. I've heard West Ham fans saying the Olympic Stadium's quiet, but it's a credit to their fans, they didn't shut up.
Yeah, but you always got to remember, what you've always got to remember away fans is though, with away fans you add alcohol. That's the main ingredient. Well, it is though. That's the main ingredient of the atmosphere. It's alcohol. I'm not.
It's your own question. Free Chang when you go in. No, get in at 2 and drink Chang.
That's not going to help the atmosphere. Well, but I definitely think that as fans, we need to get over ourselves.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we've got a fan of another club in the room doing something else. Is the atmosphere at your ground for 90 minutes just like dead noisy, or is it? See, at home, and now I know that.
Well, he just shook his head there because he hasn't got a camera on him, but he just shook his head.
He shook his head. I think what he was trying to do was to display that it is quiet where he is.
I know it's
but away from home, your fans are noisy for the whole.
I know it's quiet at other grounds. I'm not asked about other grounds. Other teams, I'm not naming names, but other teams can supplement their atmosphere just by having a better team than us, right? What you've got to so sometimes you need your fans to be that extra little bit.
So the reality is we're not going to put a standing section in into Goodison
Park.
Of
course.
It might go into a new stadium, great. So how do we get round it for the next? You've
I've got some tweets and I've asked them about. Right, Harry EFC has said safe standing on the terraces, so he agrees with me. I'm
not disagreeing. I'm just saying it.
Koeman is a blue says. First of all, selling season tickets to anyone on general sale is a joke. Most people are told to sit down if sing. Don't quite understand the correlation between those two, but
I think what he means. Does he mean? Because I've seen other people saying to me that like families should try and sit in the family section, not in the middle of the gladdest.
Okay. Magical Morales says mentality needs to change. People need to stop staring at people and he says a word which staring at people when they try to start a song or we're going nowhere. So what he's basically saying is exactly, if someone decides to start a song, why are we looking at them what are you doing, you idiot? And encourage them and get behind them and get into the song. Slight change on it. KJ Bank says, team needs to gain fans' trust again. No one relaxes until we're 2 goals up with 30 seconds to go. Sit there bricking it. That's definitely, even a 2-0 up yesterday. Even a 2-0 up yesterday with about 10 seconds to go. I was screaming for that penalty. We need that third goal. We need it. Even though it was in the 94th minute. Yeah. Cooners of Blue continues and says, too many families in the Gladys Street and the Park End. Go sit in the main stand. Club mistakes. I don't think you can really start dictating where people sit. I don't think you can do that. Goodison is full of Tories now sat there mocking men with microphones trying to sing.
I thought you were going to come back with, well, yesterday it was. But
yeah, they were in the way end. Ben King 1878 says, most fans are entitled, only sing when we play well and are winning. Whole mentality needs to change. Again, someone who says the fact it's our fault for being just too cool for school.
Yeah, there is that. I think it's
too busy with the what new coat they just bought or something, or what Adidas Originals they've got on or whatever.
It's a bit of both, isn't it? It's that in terms of how the atmosphere starts, it's chicken and egg, isn't it? Is it the team, is it the fans who start?
Mark Wright says it's been poor for some time. Now away fans often mock our quiet support. You get that every ground. Every away fan leaves the ground mocking the home support. Greenie_FC says the performance on the pitch creates an atmosphere at home, and that's the end of it. But that's the point. That shouldn't be the case, should it? You should, if you feel like your team are trying at least, you should be getting behind them. Chris Kelly says, I feel our fans are that obsessed with not being like the lot across the park that they refuse banners, etc., just because they do it. Again, you're absolutely right. It's worrying about perception from other people, and again, that's, you go back to that thing you were saying before about Liverpool fans welcoming them in the bus. The first time, certainly one of the first times they'd done it, they went on and won that game, I think, against Dortmund, and ended up getting to a European Cup final.
They done it when they nearly won the league.
Yeah, but
he was smashing.
Okay, but they did it last season.
Every game they won, the game.
Yeah, they did it last season, and they ended up winning. The atmosphere carried on into the ground. I remember one of the best atmospheres in the last few years being at Goodison when there was a big protest outside. And the protest carried on into the ground, and the place was bouncing because everyone had got themselves going. It's true. It is true. I'm telling you.
More protests.
More protests. Those planes don't create atmospheres. It needs to be boots on the ground, kids. Andy _AFC_84 says we need positive fans who don't groan every time someone loses the ball. We've got negative fans, so we are effed. Yeah,
that one. I think the negative that feeds into what's gone before in the last few years. I think we are becoming. I think every year it becomes more impatient. But I think fans in general of every club become more impatient as the years go on. I mean, Man United had 20 years of success. Now the fume.
Matty DTT says they need to play better football. Simple as that. I don't agree with that. I just don't agree with that whatsoever. I've seen absolute dross at Goodison, and the atmospheres have been good. If the players look like they're trying, then you back them. You can't always. You can't always if you've got crap players, you've got crap players. But if they're trying, you've got to back them, haven't you? No matter what. I
think they have tried this shit, apart with the exception of the Norwich game in the cup. They look like they did.
Sean Reddy looks at it at a more rounded view. Says, I think if
former QPR centre half.
Probably, yeah.
Well, yeah. I was Carl Reddy.
Yeah, it was Carl Reddy with the long blonde hair. He says, I think it's gone too far. It's just football's gone. Game's too slow, not physical, exciting. Expectations have also gone up. We go with the game, expect to win, tough when things don't go our way, and then go home. Football is getting more and more boring. Plus, I think football is so rammed down our throats from every angle. It's hard to get excited as we used to. The game is dying. Yeah, it's a positive one from Sean there.
To be fair,
he's quite right.
He's hit a lot of nails on the head there.
No, fan channels though. Fan channels help. Adrian Edgley says, if one person out of 38,000 has taken upon himself to do something, then fair play. Better approach than someone with a drum. Yeah, have you ever been a drumming? You're dead to me. It's simple as that. You are dead to me. Drums are for buttes like Leicester.
Sheffield Wednesday wanted the original band in the.
And see what happened to
years
them.
ago.
See what happened to them.
And then he carried it off to England. He'd become the England band.
And see what happened to them.
Look at England. Never look back since. Never look forward. Either.
Stephen Fagan says team are generally scared to take chances at the fear of messing up and hearing from the crowd about it. I think that's true. I think that is true.
Well, if they won't take a chance because people are going to groan, I would suggest they all bounce down to the job centre on Monday because you're paid to be a professional.
But there is definitely that mentality side of it, isn't it? That. No, I know mentality of the place. It goes back again, so you can't.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking. People are talking like it's like toxic. Bloody hell! Last year, a lot of these people not go to match last year.
I think they're just talking most about last year. Ian G says, I feel like I get classed as a wrong'un for being passionate and getting out of my seat regularly. Shouldn't be that way. Yeah, definitely. Swearing Scouse News says, give everyone a effing microphone on the way. Stephen Fagan says, nothing.
Nothing.
Dinosaur Blue says, impossible nut to crack. It'll happen organically or not at all. Matt, I'm not so sure about that. I think we've been waiting for it too long to be organically. I think it needs to kick up the arse somewhere now. And
you know what? You know when you think of how to get round it, and that the singing section sounds cringy as anything.
Don't call it the singing section.
Yeah, but it might be that like it's just the section by any other name.
Call it the boys' pen. And get Bill in there.
Bill in there to
and you can start the choir. Oh, you sound lovely, lovey. Fancy being in the blood, brothers.
Lovely baritone there. Get us off.
Johnny Hickey says, maybe like you said before, need to maybe look at the use of the PA system pre-match and half-time. More Everton anthems played.
Probably pre-match. Half-time's quite. If we're getting beat, it's not great, is it?
Yeah, maybe that'll help stir the crowd a little bit.
I think you want it.
Get the atmosphere build.
The other thing, and I've said it a million times, I'm not trying to tell Ronald Koeman how to do his job or anything, or the players, but you want to. I always feel that if we have an attempt early on, it gets the crowd going, it gets the crowd lift, you know. I think that's probably just me having to sit through Roberto Martinez 26 passes before, 26 minutes before we have a shot on goal. But I think when Everton start quickly, the crowd responds and it feeds into.
Robbie Kirkham has said, nothing can be done, just let people enjoy the game how they want to.
There is that as well, isn't it?
But I understand that, but people want to enjoy going and singing, and I think some people feel like they can't go and enjoy and do that because the people who are looking down at them, like as in to say, how dare you come and sing songs at our match
if you don't,
when we want to sit here quietly. I think that's the whole point, isn't it? Is that
then again, then you're gonna have to have
a section,
aren't you, where it's literally, I sit in the quiet section.
Like on the Virgin saying.
No, but if people will want to go, and I'm not calling the ones who want to go and get bladdered and then do whatever. I'm not calling the ones who want to sing for 90 minutes, and I'm not calling the people who want to go and just sit there quietly and just watch the game, because like he's just said there, Robbie, everyone's got their own experience of going to a football match. They might want to go and sit and just take the game in and leave it to everybody else. That's fine, but I wouldn't go and sit in the middle of the Gladys Street if I wanted to just sit and watch the game, because I know that. Yeah, but you don't want to just sit quietly and watch the game, do you?
I do, to be honest.
Do you? Okay. I wouldn't. I'd go and sit somewhere where it's quiet if that's what I wanted. If I wanted to
be honest, where I sit is quite quiet anyway.
If I wanted to go and sing, I'm more likely to be singing in the Gladys Street end, aren't I? Or what I mean?
Then maybe that's it. Maybe what you talked before about safe standing. You're not going to get it done in this stadium. You're going to maybe get it done in a new stadium, and maybe that's what the club needs to start looking at when they start designing a stadium. Is okay, you can't move people out the seats at the moment and go, we're going to have this section, we're going to have that section. Maybe that's something they address if we do move, is that straight away they go, right, this section here, who wants to go in this section? This is for where
call it the raucous section.
Yeah, the very raucous section.
And then you can't go in the middle of the raucous section and start reading The Guardian and knitting a
the unfamily section.
The profanity section, please. 3 in the profanity section.
AJ Tour says a designated standing area, which it's it's just, as we were just saying, it's not really. Is it? You can't really plan for that.
It's not going to happen at the moment,
Yeah.
is it? And what I suppose what we're looking at is what would make a difference with the atmosphere at the moment.
The Everton Bible says fans aren't chanting because they're too used to losing leads under Martinez's influence. Which again, that's that trust issue, isn't it?
I mean, you know what? Maybe there is something in that. Maybe people don't want to go all a bit cocky because you end up losing. I don't know.
Benzo Shifo says standing singing section.
Benzo Shifo. What a name! What a midfielder, by the way.
And a change in culture at the club.
How was he Belgian?
I don't know. Why can a couple of thousand away make more noise than 35,000 at home?
I think when you go away from home, it's like that. It's like the collective, innit? You're here against all of these people, and yeah, you probably got the beer and everything else, but you feel as though you've got to help the team against the masses, haven't you?
Brownie ATFC says something I think we'll all call for: allow ale on the terraces. We are all adults after all,
but they're having ale before and at half time, so why doesn't that transcend then onto the? I'm just asking.
Because it's Chang, probably.
Get Stella on tap.
How many more have we got? Jonathan Gray says nothing. Hate to break it, but we've never sung. We have.
Yeah,
Don't talk nonsense.
Yeah.
There's an atmosphere when it's needed. We are not a bunch of performing monkeys. I think you've missed the point. I think you've missed the point on this. It's not about everyone has to sing and we demand everyone to sing. What we're saying is let the people who want to sing and don't look down on them for doing it, and let grow the atmosphere that way. And I'll leave the final word to Bawley EFC, who says, I think you know what I think needs to be done. Because he was the man with the megaphone.
So what does Bawley think needs
He wants
to be
everyone to have a megaphone, probably.
Bawley has got big.
The problem is though, Bawley.
We know Bawley, and he has got big balls.
The problem with Bawley is though, if everyone has a megaphone, that makes your megaphone less special. You know what I mean? You'll just be another megaphone. Whereas at the moment you are Mr. Megaphone. Exactly. So if everyone has one, then he'll just become another megaphone.
I think to be honest with you, mate, it's just a case of it needs a section, and that's because if people are turning around going, we're not performing monkeys, or we don't want to be there. And if you know that area, so to speak, is where that takes place, get yourself away from
Three things I think, you've just hit the nail on it. Number one, standing section, if obviously the law has changed, we need to be on board. I know there's a lot of things to consider in that, but seriously, the tide is turning, and I think as fans we want to sing and we want to stand in section, even if we're not going to be. I wouldn't go in the standing section. I know you wouldn't go in the standing section, but we know there's people who want to go in the standing section, so let them have that section. In the meantime, is it possible to create a singing area? I don't know. Maybe for cup games, if you get an area, you can find an area. Maybe do that. Maybe encourage that. And the other thing is, I think people have just got to stop with this attitude that anyone who tries to do something that they don't like is a knobhead. Honestly, I think if you don't like something, just don't do it. But if someone else is trying to create an atmosphere, don't be a knobhead about it. Just let them do it. Don't look down at them like you're somehow better than them for being a ultra cool footy fan. You go to grounds abroad and you watch how these things are done, and everyone loves it. That's all staged as much as it's all. You can't do anything in football grounds now without the approval of the police and the football club. It's as simple as that. So I think a lot of people have to get over themselves and just try and create that atmosphere. And if I think it'll go onto the pitch, and we might start seeing more wins because of it.
Anything that helps the team at the end of the day, isn't it?
There you go. That's it. Anything that helps the team. Supporters, support.
I think they do. In their own, everyone, each of their own. More megaphone. I
just watch replays on my phone on Twitter and then just moan about them afterwards. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you think about this. It's a bit of a touchy subject for some, but let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. Right, make sure to check out our latest videos. There's a couple just here and here. Make sure you're checking them out on Toffee TV, and we'll see you later.